very warm welcome to today's video. Dr. Campbell made a video about documents that came from a Freedom of Information request. A person, whose name can't be revealed, has gone to a lot of effort to obtain this information, and Dr. Campbell will now blow the lid off this conspiracy.
Now, the key thing is that this document has only been released as a result of Freedom of Information requests. Now, it was released after a long time of Freedom of Information requests, and even now it's still quite highly redacted. So if we have a look at this here, redacted. You know, really it has to be asked, why is there still a lot of material in this document related to the Pfizer vaccine? Why is a lot of this still redacted? Because the whole point of science is that we share it and open it up to peer review. The scientists all around the world desperate to get a hold of this information, but a lot of it's still redacted. But a lot of it isn't. And we're going to be looking at the stuff that isn't.
So Dr. Campbell is concerned the redactions are hiding the science. Firstly, I note he states that it's highly redacted, but in reality it's less than 4% redacted. So he wants you to think there is a secret agenda and some conspiracy hiding the data from scientists. Then, a day or so later, he interviews Professor Clancy, and he can't work out why it's redacted.
This is just what's dribbled out into the public domain through the Freedom of Information request.
Yeah, that's my understanding, and yet still quite a lot of it is redacted for reasons that are very unclear, at least to me.
Certainly unclear to me as well.
Now, I'm not a scientist or a professor, and like Dr. John Campbell, I'm not a medical doctor. But it only took me 5 minutes on Google to work it out. The fact is, the original peer-reviewed documents are simply not redacted for the scientists involved. But they are redacted for Freedom of Information requests. And on these Australian documents he showed, you can see the S47 in the redactions. That stands for Section 47 of the Freedom of Information Guidelines. Section 47 covers hiding trade secrets. For example, this redaction is hiding the ingredients. Like it or not, drug companies have the right to protect their intellectual property. It's like Dr. Campbell complaining that Coke doesn't share their formula, or like Macca's special sauce recipe, or KFC's secret herbs and spices. But Australia isn't the only country to redact Freedom of Information requests. This one from America explains that data is withheld to protect trade secrets. And what Freedom of Information request is this? This one is from over a year ago, and it's the same research. That's right, Dr. Campbell. Your video is old news.
The first thing I want to look at is the distribution of the lipid nanoparticles. We were told it stayed in the injection site. I can now tell you on YouTube, because this is an official government document, I'm now free to discuss this. As far as what's in that document, I can discuss, because we can discuss official government documents. That the lipid nanoparticles are widely distributed, very widely distributed. So there we go. It reached these high levels in the plasma when we were told it wasn't systemically distributed. We can now say definitively from a government document it is systemically distributed. So it was floating all around the body because, of course, the plasma, the liquid part of the blood, it goes to your big toe, it goes to your little toe, it goes to your little finger, it goes to your thumb, it goes to your ear, it goes to your brain, it goes to your liver, it goes to your kidneys, it goes absolutely everywhere, apart from the clear part in the front of your eyes. All the living tissues, the plasma goes there. This is widely distributed, as we'll see. So there we go. We can say definitively from a government document that the lipid nanoparticles, and therefore the messenger RNA that is contained, is distributed to all of these organs. We were told it wasn't, but now we know it was.
So, what's the issue, Dr. Campbell? Are you upset that 2 years ago some people said LNPs only stay in the injection site, but now you've found out it doesn't? Is that what your video is about? A gotcha moment? You caught out someone that 2 years ago said something wrong. Well, people say things in the past that they wouldn't say now.
Well, I think the first thing to say is, Gary, at your age and with your comorbidities, you don't mention what your comorbidities are, but vaccination for you, Gary, is absolutely essential. And certainly for anyone in the older age group. And of course, we should be following our national guidelines on vaccination anyway, but I know that's controversial. But for someone of Gary's age, with comorbidities, absolutely. And we know that people, Gary, who've had a booster dose of the vaccine are going to get even greater protection against hospitalisation. So if you have a booster dose of the vaccine, you're going to reduce your chances of hospitalisation by about 90%. So well worth doing.
Dr. Campbell wouldn't say that now, though. I wonder why.
How could the Australian authorities know this in January 2021 and still approve this vaccine is a question for the Australian authorities. And as we say, the equivalent data was available in the United States, the United Kingdom, everywhere. And bear in mind, all this was known before the vaccines were approved. Before all this was known before the vaccines were approved. Struggling for words.
So this is Dr. Campbell's issue. The government knew LNP circulated throughout the body, but approved the vaccine anyway. This document has multiple studies in it, including the one Dr. Campbell has discussed. And this document does show LNPs do spread throughout the body, but the studies found no actual problem with that. If you read the document, you'll find the studies agree there were no safety issues found. So all the data was taken into account at the time. And these studies are over 2 years old. Dr. Campbell is complaining about lipid nanoparticles in our bodies, but where is his video showing us how they cause damage? He certainly doesn't tell us in this video. Where are the peer-reviewed studies? If there were, the anti-vaxxers would melt down Twitter and YouTube. So, if you think about it, what actually was the purpose of his video that basically shared old information and proved nothing further? Maybe